today I am going to talk about the one I talk about Monday, but I am going to expand stories a little bit. Okay? Because my intention, my purpose is I want to make your life to be better, and I wanted to spend your day better, right? And then I wanted you to feel lighter your life. So I want to share, or I want to talk about something makes you feel good, makes you feel better. Not like makes you really disappointed, not like makes you really angry. That's not my intentions. If you want to make yourself disappointed, if you want to make yourself angry, read some news, read something gossip. All right? Good evening, Yamagen-san. Hello, hello. So, the story is, not story, that's what I'm going to talk about. You figure out as you go. Last couple days, I've said this phrase so many times, right? Because this sentence, this phrase, it's so resonated with me. Because, and as I'm just letting you guys telling this word, you figure out as you go. I am also telling myself to. I need to tell myself all the time. Because when I start something, I get frustrated. Of course, it's the first time, it's no good. It doesn't go well. But I tell myself, you'll figure out as you go. That's so important. Makes me feel better. And that makes me feel like, okay, I can start messy. It's not perfect, but that's okay. Because as I am doing, I'm gonna get better. All right? So, and then as you start doing it, right? This is like level 2. You figure out as you go, and where do you have to go next? Hey, it's gonna be a little bit uncomfortable, but stretch out and risk. Yes, that's so scary, right? Stretch out and risk. Yes, in order for you to keep going, right? You almost always, it's good to stretch out and risk. And it's scary, it's uncomfortable, but if you keep doing that, I find out you can enjoy your life better. The life gets easier. If you don't stretch out, if you don't take a risk, if you stop trying, guess what's happened? Your life's gonna get harder. I mean it, right? Like always I use this analogy, right? I think I'm doing same analogy. For example, getting older, I'm 50 years old. If I'm not doing anything, I sit on a chair, not doing anything, guess what's happened? Everything is gonna start painful. And then when I go grocery shopping, carry the grocery bag, right? To carry grocery bag, it's gonna be harder and harder. So I realized that. And then, you know what? I am really small. Everything in my house, especially around the kitchen, all right? Cupboards and shelves, they are really tall, right? So, and then I realized that the late 40s, I started having a hard time to reach out stuff. I started having a hard time to, when you do tippy toes and they're starting to it's hard to stand still. And then I just I am getting old. I was telling myself every time I'm having a hard time to reach anything, the plates, glasses. But I didn't realize I was beating myself up as I'm saying that, right? Every time I just saying that. Good evening, Yoshimin-san. So I just you know what? I cannot be a crybaby, right? So I am a woman who willing to try the harder things. I need to tell myself, right? So I realized, okay, what I have to do, right? Because this core wasn't strong enough to support when I stretch, when I do tippy toes, it kind of shakes, right? And then I couldn't hold it still. lose balance means my core wasn't strong enough. So I started to exercise every single morning almost. I have like one day off. And then I started to like, yay, improving myself. I can reach, I can do tippy toes, right? Anyway, so that's about it. So, sorry, I always, my story sometimes goes in the sideways. So stretch out and risk. It's scary. Yes, scary. But you know what? Yesterday, okay, here's a story. Yesterday, I did IG Live with my friend Sugakichi. Her name is Yukiko. I've known her for last couple of years. She's always willing to stretch it out. She's always willing to take a risk. What does she does, right? Because at the beginning, her purse wasn't like her purse. She was already making a great purses, but it wasn't like that. Okay, it was more simple, right? And she was selling a lot cheaper, right? Because at the beginning, right? But now, as she tried, as she stretched out her ability, and then as she's taking a risk, because, going to the next steps to create something better, and then just think, what can I do for myself and for the others, my customers, right? Like she has a vision to have a purse, right? The women carry purse. She has a vision like, whoever carry my purse, the women's gonna be so happy and like, how do I say, happy, and then just be themselves. I wanna make a purse like that. So to have the vision, what she has to keep willing to evolving, right? Evolving is uncomfortable, but you have to willing to take a risk. Sometimes she thinks she's got the pattern in her head. Sometimes it takes a courage to cut it out, the fabric, especially kimonos, right? Once you cut, done, almost. It's hard they don't get back together. Not like us, right? We cut ourselves and then just like, oh, it hurts. But a couple of days later, it goes back. The fabric is not like that, right? But to evolve, to stretch out, and you gotta take a risk to make anything better, right? That's my friend's example. And then yesterday, she made a purse. Yeah, mistakes good. You have to be willing to take a risk, right? Right. Yesterday, she showed a purse, and it looked perfect to me. And I'm sure you guys, whoever joined the live yesterday, I'm sure they felt the same way. Fabulous, wonderful. But she was still saying, next purse I make, I want to change this one to that one's. That's amazing. Hey, Yoko-san, long time to see. I'm glad you joined, right? So anyway, yeah. And then my son, and then his workplace, his boss, make dog treat. And then I heard the story. I never met him, but I heard the story from my son. His boss, who makes a dog treat, who has a business making dog treat, he start from the kitchen with his friend or family, and then next to garage, and now he has his own has a warehouse, the store. That's good, but he keeps taking, stretching out. I'm sure he's been taking a risk. And the other day, my son said, I drove my boss truck. It was so nice. It's brand new, Dad. Brand new, Mom. I just like, yeah, that's amazing. That's the reward, right? And then if he didn't take risk, if he didn't stretch out his truck, he might still drive old beat up truck. Who knows? So that's a great influence for my son. I told him, you know what? Just you learn as much as you can from him, right? Willing to learn. Somebody's already, doing the things like he wants to do. Anyway, so this is the things I had a story, same as my English. I wanted to speak better English, right? I always say that because words are so important. That's how we communicate each other, right? If I cannot speak good, I probably will have really hard time going around everywhere. And it's hard for me to live here. So I realized that I couldn't speak good enough to just go around, but I wanted to speak further, right? So so that's why I started to IG Live. That's why I started to asking people to join, right? That's why hey, I just got stretch it out and take a risk and trying to get out my comfort zone, right? So, hey, I think it's improving. I tell myself. And after that, each life. Here you are, Tessa. Each life I do in English, right? I always tell myself, great job, great job. You have to tell yourself too, right? That keeps me going. So in order to the things, you want to stretch it out and take a risk and grow. How do you do it? Here it is. Here's my action plan, action advices. Okay. Number one, start small. Okay. You do not want to stretch it out. You do not want to stretch. See, think about it. Pizza. Have you ever made a pizza dough? Right? Or bread, doesn't matter. Okay? You make a pizza dough, you stretch out little by little. You don't want to just, this is a dough. You don't want to just like stretch it out all of a sudden. And because it's tear it apart, right? Break the pizza dough all of a sudden I got messy too. I got just broken to pizza dough. You have to stretch it out small. Like a pizza dough. Hey, I love this analogy. I just figured out actually. So start small. Okay, that's important. Do not start big. Do not try to start big. That's too much. Because starting small, it's easier. You just start small and easier to take an action. All right, number 2 is write it down. Next uncomfortable step. What is your next uncomfortable step you are willing to take? Not like you are going to take. I'm telling you, you are willing to take. It's very commitment, right? That's what it's called. Okay, you know what? Every time I kind of feel uncomfortable every time I think I spoke wrong English, you notice that I laugh like this. This is a little bit of a Japanese part. Anyway, so yeah, write down what is your next uncomfortable step you're willing to take. It's called stretch it out and take a risk, right? Write down. It's easier when you write down, like myself, right? Your brain holds so many things and so many words, and sometimes you just get confused, right? So write it down helps to just sort it out, right? And then write it down. It takes a moment to write down. It's easier to just kind of oh, okay, this is what I want to do, right? So that's why it's good. When you have so many things. This is a morning. So it's I got 3,000 things in my head, to-do list, right? But actually, I've mentioned it before. I write them down, to-do list. Like this, I already mentioned this morning, right? When I write down, and then I'm not gonna get hijacked by by small things. It's easier for me to focus. And at the end of the day, I feel more accomplished, and then I feel less tired, and then I feel happier. Okay, so write them down. It's important. And then number 3, and if you are the person like me, doing something good, trying to serve, okay, you check it out the people right around you or online, and they engage with the people, and those people, they're doing a little bit they are doing the same things we call like-minded people, and also connect the people they are doing a little bit ahead of you, and then just learn from them. Like my example, Sister Marie, not a little bit, she's way ahead of me. She's in the same community, she's like-minded people, and then anytime I am connecting with Tessa Marie, I really enjoy. I would love to connect Tessa Marie because I learned lots of valuable stuff from her. Right? So you can choose. It's lonely. It's lonely when you start doing something, when you're willing to you're trying to stretch it out, when you're willing to take a risk. You know, the people around you, the people who grew up with you, your family, friends, they might say, why you do that? Like, you know, what are you willing to try? You're 50? Are you still willing to try? You're out of your mind? It's just like, you know, those energies, I know they tell me out of love, but those energies sometimes put me down. So it's easier. You have to feed the energy. You're doing something good. So what you have to do is you have to connect to the like-minded people, have same energy. We have to feed each other. So that's 3 action plans. And then thank you so much, Yoko-san. You write down? Thank you. Thank you. Oh, she's one of them too, Yoko-san. Yeah. Oh, thank you. We're having so much fun actually, Tessa Marie, right? That's important. You have to have fun. You don't feel, you know what, to connect, say you connect the like-minded people. You start just like, oh, I find this community, I love this, I can learn from this, like this community, I love her, I like, you know, him, it's good. But when you get in there, you starting feel like super, and I shouldn't say uncomfortable. Like, you know, I do believe people, you can choose the people surround you too, right? If you start to feel like, I don't know, they're just like, I can feel it's all about themselves, those communities, they're pulling each other's leg and they just put, you know, everybody else is down. If you feel that energy, hey, you have a choice. Just get out, find another community, okay? But you know what? There are good community out there, right? And I recommend, if you speak English, if you're willing to change the world, if you want to serve the world, I would definitely recommend Evan Carmichael's Movement Makers communities, right? I love it. I've been there more than a year. I've met so many great people through Movement Makers communities, right? So that's I recommend. I get no money advertising by, you know, Movement Makers. I say that because I'm his fan. I'm a big fan of the people from Movement Makers, right? So that's why I'm doing that. Anyway, so I hope the tips and stories, the IG Live I did, maybe it help you out. So, you know, today I was talking about stretch it out and risk. Oh, no, you figure out as you go, okay? Yes, you did it. You start doing that. What do you have to do next is stretch it out. You do stretch it out. You already figured out and go to the next level. Stretch it out and take a risk. But you don't need to take a big risk, okay? I told you about the pizza dough things, analogy, the pizza dough. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go back and watch my IG Live, all right? So start small and act on devices. And then number 2 is write down what is your uncomfortable steps you're willing to take, okay? And number 3 is connect with like-minded people. And when you find somebody is ahead of you, just willing to learn from them. Okay, those people, like I said to Summary, I'm not buttering you up, okay? They are willing to share. They are willing to help you out. I got lots of people from movement makers. They are willing to support me, right? So I call them sisters actually. So that's really nice. So anyway, if you want to, I also have the business, life coaching business. And if you are willing to join live with me, I do it for free for coaching, because whoever you're going through, if you have a courage to do it as you live with me, you know what? I'm sure you will help somebody else, right? And because your problem is not only your problem, I'm sure somebody else is going through the same things, almost same things, right? Or if you want to do it privately, send me a DM, and then it's gonna be paid, of course, right? I will use my precious time only for you, but it's gonna be paid. So let me know. I want to help out. Okay, thank you for watching, and I trust you have a great Wednesday.